Today I'm taking a look at this device, which is actually a chair. No, really, it's actually a chair, and even their packaging says so. It says this is a chair. This is the SitPack, and it extends into a full-length chair. Well, really, it's more of a one-legged stool, but we'll call it a chair, because that's what they say it is. But let's see how it works in today's video. All right, let's jump right into it. First up, I paid $55 for this, and it currently has a 3.7-star rating on Amazon, which is not terribly impressive. But the claims are that it can fold down to 2.75 by 6.75 inches, but it telescopes all the way out to 34 inches. It has adjustable height, can help relieve back pain, leg pain for events, travel, long lines, concerts, and more. Can be used on any surface, although this one says not to use it on slippery surfaces, so most surfaces. It only weighs a little over a pound, but it can hold up to 220. Most people online who liked it said it was sturdy, well-made. They liked the idea that you can use this in concerts, especially amusement parks, and you're waiting in long lines. Those who didn't like it, some people said that it was hard to adjust, some people said it was wobbly, and some people said you can fall off of it. So let's take a closer look and see how it works. All you have to do is just pull these apart to open it up, and that will actually form your seat, which isn't probably the most comfortable thing in the world. And then this folds out, and there's a sleeve here which keeps that seat in place, and then this sleeve goes up and twists to keep that in place. Then all you have to do is extend the entire thing, give it a twist, and there is a very faint line on here where you can see if you're actually properly lined up or not. At that point, all you have to do is sit on. Now they say in the instructions here, they only say to use only for leaning at a 40-degree angle, so they don't want you to sit directly on it, I guess. They also say not to sit on just one side. So let me see, first use here. Let me see, well, I mean, I'm not falling over, that's good. So I think what I need to do now is take it outside and try it in a real-world test. Let's head outside. All right, let's try it outside here. I got two different types of materials on the ground here. This is a bit smoother, but it's still kind of a dirt texture. Bailey, let's try this out, shall we? See how quickly I can do this. Folding it out, adjusting the sleeve, extending it. All the lines match up. I think we're ready to go. Is it gonna hold me? It seems to. Now, I just feel like I'm leaning. I definitely don't feel like I'm sitting. I think this would be more of a stool. They call it a chair, we'll just go with it, but I think a stool is more accurate than a chair. And it's kind of a leaning stool, not even really a stool, because you're not supposed to put all your weight on it. Let me try it in the rocks here. Say we're out in the middle of the desert, nothing but rocks, let's try that. It's kind of slipping a little bit. All right, okay. Some people do it with their feet out like this. That doesn't feel very comfortable. I kind of need one back for support here. I guess if you're sitting there waiting for your ride at Disneyland, it's better than standing up. Not a lot better, but it is a little bit better. What happens if you adjust this and just sit straight down on it? I don't think you're really supposed to. Let's try. It feels, I mean, that feels pretty wobbly. It felt wobbly before, this is wobblier. But I feel like I'm sitting, it's not very comfortable. I wouldn't want to sit on this very long. I think after a while it started hurting. It actually started to hurt already. People said if you've got a bony backside, it's not good for you, and now I see why they would say that. Let me fully extend this one more time. Whoa. Let me go on the surface here. This is a little bit safer, I think. When you sit directly down onto it, it's pretty uncomfortable. When you lean on it, not nearly as uncomfortable. But really, you're just leaning. You're not really sitting. What's funny is the telescoping action reminds me of this stool that I reviewed a couple years ago. And this is, you can definitely sit on this one. Now this, you are sitting on this one. And I really like this one. I use this all the time. I use it sometimes as a table, sometimes as a stool, for a step stool. I use this a lot. And although it doesn't fold down quite as small as this one I think has a little bit more function than this one does. This is just something you lean on. This one you can use for a lot of different purposes. I don't know. I think what I need to do now is take this out of my backyard, the safety of my own home, and try it somewhere out in the wild. Let's do that. All right, nothing like hiking out in the desert when it's in the 90s outside. I've got my backpack here. I'm fully loaded with my SitPack right here. It's right here in my backpack side pocket. Fits just like a bottle. I got water bottle on one side. I've got my chair on the other. So my plan is to hike for a little while and then take a break and have a seat and relax and head back. So let's see how well the seat does on this hike. All right, to my first stop here. Well, it's brake proof, that's good. Now we established that. It's hot out here. Okay, well, there we go. I'm not sure it would be easier than just sitting right here. This is what I would normally do, which that's more comfortable. But say I didn't have that rock here. I have this to lean up against, which takes some of the weight off, not all. I'm gonna rest here for a second and then move on. All right, I think all I need now is Captain Kirk and a giant lizard man fighting, and I think I'll be set. That's how remote it feels out here. But let me take a load off with this chair and see how much of a relief I actually get. Normally I would just sit down over there or lean down, but maybe this will be better. Let's try it out. I think we're set. Whoa. All right. Once that gets stabilized, it feels pretty good. It feels kind of nice to take some weight off my feet, although it's not the same as sitting. But I'm gonna hang out here for a while and take a load off and let you know how it goes. Maybe I'll go on my phone for a little bit while I'm waiting. I'll take a picture here for social media. One thing to point out is it is kind of wobbly, so you end up having to use your leg muscles to kind of stabilize yourself. So, you know, it's not complete rest like it would, like sitting would be. Sitting would be a complete rest. This is not. In fact, check this out. This was also my backpack. Now that's complete rest right there. That's completely taking a load off. Doesn't take up much more space either, and it's much more stable. In fact, you could stand on this. If I was gonna take something like that hiking, I'd probably bring this. Maybe an amusement park line, the SitPack's better, but not for all situations. Let me close this up a little bit now. How quick can I do this? Closing it up does take a little bit of getting used to. These take a little bit more force than you might expect, but after a couple times, it gets easier. In the end, I think it would probably work in some situations. I'm not sure if this is the ideal situation for this. I would think something like amusement parks where you're constantly moving, but also standing in between is better. For a long-term rest, I'm not sure if it's really better than just sitting down, just finding a place, or even kneeling. There was also times I was kind of using one of my legs to stabilize myself. I felt like my leg was getting sore doing that. So I think this is probably good for some people in some situations. It's certainly not a comprehensive solution. But if you've tried the SitPack, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm getting faster at it. And this just came off. Great. Okay.